to your go-to source for everything that unfolds in Anakin. If you've missed today's episode or just want every detail wrapped in juicy narration, you're in the right place. This is your full breakdown of episode 122, 432, airing on Thursday, 24 April 2025. And what an episode it is. Packed with emotional depth, shocking turns, and the kind of suspense that grips your chest. This one changes everything. Tonight we see Omer step fully into a new chapter of his life. After everything he's endured, poverty, heartbreak, betrayal, and the weight of Kadir's death, he's finally found a moment of peace. He's come a long way from the boy who once begged for leftovers and fought to stay in school. Now, thanks to the inheritance left by Sevgi and perhaps a few morally ambiguous side hustles that he hasn't fully disclosed, Omer buys a house. It isn't a mansion, it doesn't have polished marble floors or a chandelier, but to Omer it's a palace. The joy on his face as he unlocks the door for the first time is deeply moving. Asiye's eyes well with tears, not because of the walls or the furniture, but because this moment represents safety. Emel, with her tiny steps, runs around the empty rooms like she's never seen a place so big. For the first time in a long while, there's laughter echoing through the corridors instead of sobs. But happiness in this world rarely arrives without a storm lurking in the distance. Elsewhere, Nebahat is on the road. Pregnant and clearly distressed, she grips the wheel as her phone lights up with a message. It's cryptic, sharp, we know what you did. She reads it once, then again, and her hands begin to shake. She fumbles with the radio, maybe to distract herself, maybe just to fill the silence. As she glances into the rearview mirror, a memory flashes. Akif kissing Susan. The betrayal, the lies, the weight of all she's endured alone. It happens in a blink. A bend in the road, a truck in the wrong lane, tires screech. Her car spins and crashes into a guardrail, flipping once before landing upside down in a ditch. A bystander runs over, pulling at the door. Inside, Nebahat's lips are bloodied, her eyes glassy. She's unconscious, but a whisper escapes her, barely audible. "Save my baby." Back in the sun-dappled garden of the school park, Akif is orchestrating what appears to be a cheerful distraction, a picnic. Blankets, juice boxes, soccer balls. It's all smiles and sunshine as he tries, so predictably, to rebuild his image. He jokes with Ogulkan, hands Emel a sandwich, and even offers to braid Asiye's hair. It's charming, too charming. But Doruk isn't buying it. He storms into the middle of the picnic, eyes blazing. He's heard things, possibly from Susan, maybe even Nebahat herself before the accident. He knows Akif has been playing both women, manipulating the kids, and trying to wash his hands of decades of deceit. A confrontation ensues. Words are flung like knives. Accusations mount. The children freeze, watching their world unravel again right in front of them. And then a call. Omer answers his phone, and his entire posture changes. "It's Nebahat," he says, almost to himself. "She's in ICU." Everything shifts, the children scatter, the picnic is abandoned. Doruk and Asiye rush to the hospital, tension thick in the air. Omer follows, torn between guilt, fear, and an overwhelming need to protect his siblings. At the hospital, the stakes become unbearably real. The doctors hover, working to stabilize Nebahat. One monitors the baby's heartbeat, another prepares the crash cart. Suzanne arrives, breathless and panicked, only to be stopped at the door by Ayla, who, in a rare moment of cruelty, blocks her path. "You don't belong here," Ayla says coldly. "Not in this family, not today." Doruk arrives moments later, pushing past Ayla without a word. He finds Susan in the hallway, and for a brief second, the bitterness between them fades. They are, after all, two people who love the same person, Nebahat. Inside the emergency room, the baby's heart rate drops. For one terrible moment, the monitor flatlines before a nurse slaps adrenaline into the IV. The heart rate ticks again, faint but there. Outside, the tension explodes. Omer, overwhelmed by the news, confesses the unthinkable to Asiye, that part of the money he used to buy their house came from Tayfun, blood money. Her reaction is swift and fierce. She steps back from him, horrified, betrayed again by someone she thought was her rock. "You said we'd never lie to each other again," she says quietly before walking away into the night. And then, silence. In the waiting room, Akif sits alone, staring at a picture of Nebahat and Doruk on his phone. Regret floods his face. For once, he looks like a man who realizes he may have finally crossed the line he can't charm his way back from. The doctor walks out, eyes heavy. "She's stable," he says, and the room breathes, but the baby's condition is uncertain. We'll know more in the morning. Everyone collapses in their seats, some in relief, others in fear, some in guilt. And so ends another night in the world of Anakin, with hearts broken, lives hanging by threads, and more secrets buried under the weight of survival. If you've made it this far, you already know this show never lets you rest. Stay tuned, stay subscribed if you haven't already, and if you miss the episode, let this be your window into the storm. Until next time, hold on tight, because tomorrow, the past comes calling again.